Well, hello people, and welcome back to part 23 of Euclid, our vanilla Cities 2 build. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Last time out, we added a passenger port and lots of train and tram infrastructure to help support the wider transit networks across the city. And indeed, we also need to add bike parking here today as well, something I left out last episode. Supply chains and skyscrapers content creator packs have also released this week. So I'd like to add some of the new skyscrapers into the downtown, and in the coming episodes of Euclid, in the new area we're developing today, we'll use supply chains as well. But in today's episode, I want to turn my attention to a network planning episode, something we've not done for a while, as we open up several new tiles into the South Valley, heading out of the town from Shelton. But otherwise, let's play some Vanilla Cities 2, shall we? So first of all, let's get started in downtown Benedict, where there's still deathcare issues across the city. I did have some advice last episode to place or replace the deathcare buildings, which I've done. Has made a bit of a difference, but it's still pretty prevalent, so we'll keep leaving the simulation to run regardless. But beyond this, I would like to include some new skyscrapers to replace the buildings that the dead are currently occupying. So I think we'll go with the Finanzturm here, which carries the peak office skyscraper design from 1980s Europe. It houses companies operating in the financial sector, providing favourable interest rates to local companies and increasing the efficiency of logistics chains. With a minus 25% loan interest, that won't bother us, we don't use loans, but increased profits and minus import costs is always welcome. I think I'll be happy to have this here. We'll detail out a plaza around it. It will also become the new tallest building, but I think it's just within the height remit to be within Euclid's skyline. If you actually check some of the other ones, it's a little bit crazy. Which one was it I tested? I think it was, yeah, this one, the Hurston Yards. It's absolutely enormous. It's almost the same width as the entire downtown. So it's pretty massive. So we have to be careful with what we place in here. I think another one that would qualify is going to be the Seaworth building, which is a classic example of timeless international style. This office tower can also serve as a city hall, which would be a central piece of any urban district. And again, it's within a height profile. And I wouldn't mind finding a spot for it around here. I think I can rework some of these apartments in here, so we'll de-zone this block pretty much. There's also a path running through the middle here as well. Unless we choose another tower altogether, actually. Something a touch narrower, maybe. Both of the commercial towers are vast, so we can't do those. Okay, I think I might go with the Carina instead then, which is a medium-sized office tower that houses companies operating in the IT sector. It can be upgraded to university, because we have a video up on the channel looking at all these new buildings, if indeed you are interested. And I'll turn off road snapping here so I can get a more precise alignment on the corner. Or actually, maybe it's probably better slightly off the corner. Because I imagine the surfaces on the tower are probably going to detail plaza around the back of this. But again, it's within Benedict's height profile. It gives us a significantly more powerful structure in the skyline, doesn't it? So a really welcome pack. Can't use all the towers here, because they are skyscrapers. They're proper beasts. But I'll be happy with those additions, I think. Coming in around the bottom here, we will make room for something. I'm happy to keep some of those apartments. These little middle ones will disappear, though. Do I like that Japanese one there? Yes, I do. I think, however, I'm going to open up this side here. And then we can have some fun detail in this, can't we? I think, well, then again, we've also got some fun here as well. Are you max level? You are, so you're not going to change again, so we don't have to worry about that. I think I'll drag this out, because I would like this road delivery surface to extend. And then we'll have our skyscraper texture come out. Again, we'll match what's on the building here. Let's also pull that one up into the corner. Super. That really looks really sweet down here on the corner, doesn't it? Then also here we'll bring these nodes down to here. Fantastic. And then definitely some planters here. Let's grab them on 12 meters a little wide. It's maybe half that. Let's go down to 6. Couple of planters. And then let's definitely use these new, very fancy skyscraper benches. Hot dog stand in here as well, perhaps. In our park tab. Different lots of workers, commuters with the computers passing through here every day. Kiosk or two. Little trash bin maybe either side of the corner. And that should settle that tower in just very nicely into downtown Yeti, right? Isn't that so cute? I really love that corner. That might be my new favourite bit of the city centre, actually. Yeah, a little screenshot of that, shall we? So we're most welcome, these towers. Really are most welcome. We'll do the other tower in the detailing time lapse. So let's get on with the core feature of today's episode, though. Opening up new tiles, indeed. To these spaces over here into this valley. So we'll grab quite a few. Probably all these. And we also have a road coming down this way that has to be factored in this episode. So we'll grab that one as well. Quite the expense, but we're pretty loaded after 22 episodes now, so it's not too bad to worry about. And first of all, let's check out our terrain. Because it is pretty mental here. I want to do some terraforming. I'll respect the general shape of the land. And we won't go totally flat. So first of all, let's grab our arterial road. And I just want to find out where this levels up to 0. Pretty much there, isn't it? Yeah, plus 0.1. So if we say to there, what sort of terrain difference is this against our highway? I know a lot of you find these road planning episodes quite useful, so I'll try to leave my thought process as flowing as possible today. So that's not too bad. If we were to bring our suburb down to this height then, at least for the majority of it, so we have some buildable space, it actually allows us to keep the highway embanked, which I think I'm more keen to do. We are also going to carry on upgrading it from couplet too, which we'll do in time-lapse. Super. So we can set that layer there, and we'll quite easily bring this road down, allowing us to do layers with all this walking path infrastructure that's under here. Maybe turn this into kind of a rail-side park or something in future episodes. Whilst we're also talking about network planning, we are also pretty much in need of another train station, because there's going to be more trains down here as well. So we want a new train yard, which we have a small one now as well. Has 2 less vehicles, but is significantly smaller. I think we'll go with this new one then, why it's here. Okay, that makes sense, doesn't it? And now where do we want this on the line? Probably off the main line, I think, but by the highway. Don't mind having some rail bridges coming over the stream there. I think that might look quite exotic, actually. So we'll place our rail depot here as well, which I think will sit very tidily by that highway, actually, won't it? Yeah, we're happy with that then. So we've got a layer for our major cut of new metropolitan area to begin expanding on against the highway, alongside planning in our major transit infrastructure. I don't know if I want to do another rail yard. How many trains are currently being used in the Shelton rail yard? All of them. Okay. I think we'll just go with one for right now. If we do want a second, then we've definitely got the room for it down by this interchange again, so that should be okay, I think. With this road here, you have quite the layer to transcend, don't you? Like, seriously, we're going to do some mental switchback stuff here. In terms of where you do connect in, I wouldn't mind this road almost as like kind of country vibes, like it's just a T-junction off of a main national highway. And we'll probably turn that into a super node, I imagine. So we're going to have to do some terrain work here, I think, just to get this in. So I'll set my slope up here. Quite strong as well. And also quite wide. This way I can just dig out a bit of a gully. That comes up, which looks super unnatural, but we'll chisel more of this away. Even some outcrops for almost like a little formation to form, if you like. Cool. I'm going to do a bit of grandmaster soften all over the place. Just blend it back in to give us some new ridge lines to layer up against. But that should let us switch back up significantly easier. Super, so that provides a new connection, which I'm actually unsure how much use this is going to get. It does come back up by the power station here into the interchange. It goes back into down, well, kind of lower down Benedict over here. So I guess we'll see in the episode as to who uses it. Might take some pressure off the internal city roads, I think. But we'll see. But either way, let's move into a bit of a road time lapse here, where we have to turn this couplet along this embankment and basically just upgrade this to couplet system. Where it does eventually come into quite an interesting interchange, which I'm not going to change. This is really cool. I'll definitely just build around this infrastructure. But basically bring the couplet system up to this 4-lane road here, I think. So I'll see you in a sec. Okay, so we have our road in now, materials connected with couplet, and also we have a peanut about interchange dropped into the middle, which is very tasty, very detailable as well. So the next call of order is trains, especially a passenger train station, which are always massive buildings. I don't need many lines here. I would like a couple of trains leaving, not just the one line. And the French train station is quite nice. I think I'm going to have this here. So I'm going to bring the train off here into the town. It's also going to feature as part of the town as well, I think, in terms of having the train line kind of integrated into the couplet system. And also slope our train approach here as well. Try and keep the train police happy today. It's going to be quite a lot of train infrastructure. Then we'll bring our primary line down here. And then this can just connect in to our national rail. This can also come down and just blend happily into that at some point. Minus 1.7%. Train police should be happy enough with that. And then the same thing over here. We'll come out and then blend that second line back in as well. So with that aligned, I bet this gradient's going to be too steep. What are we at here? No, it's only 1.6. Okay, that's fine then. That's fine. So let's come on to our actual road frames now then. So at the front of the train station, we're certainly going to feature trams around here. So I'd definitely like to feature that. Let's definitely respect car parking first of all. We'll have a road here. And I might even make this parking road actually. Maybe some angled parking this side of the station. I think so. We'll refine it as the layers come in, I think. And then the approach up to the station will come in with some asymmetrical. And I'm going to bring this straight down 90 degrees. So it can then connect in with this arterial road here, which I think will run as... If there's going to be trams here, then I might go even 6-lane divided. It's quite big, but it's not all going to be dedicated to roads. There will be bikes. No. No, I'm just going to keep it 4-lane. I think 6 lanes too big. Maybe even 5-lane asymmetrical. I'm probably overthinking it. I might even do a little... kind of switch of grid and angle thing here. So let's bring this down on cell length. And then we'll have it in there. We do get some broken grids, but that's fine. And then we'll do kind of like an angular grid thing here as it switches. And then runs out of this grid frame. So that's going to go through there like that. Then what I did want to try was something we attempted in New Friendwood, but we only had a very short stretch of it for those that have been watching CS2 since the launch. But essentially the train line with a couplet in between it, or so essentially the train line in between a smaller couplet system that follows this for a good distance, and will just act as kind of like a mini local traffic flow system. So we'll do 2-lane one way. And then if we were to right here, let me draw a road off the platform first. And then that's about right there, isn't it? A tile either side, I think. Yeah, I like that there. And then just let this follow the train line all the way up the hill, really. This couplet system will also be very easy to blend into this road as well. Although I'm probably going to bridge this maybe because I don't want the arterial passing as a rail crossing. We will have some rail crossings, obviously. Such as this immediate example right here. But not off a highway arterial like that. That's way too... That would be a traffic bottleneck like crazy. You know what, actually, maybe rather than a bridge, there's something more interesting that can be done here. Maybe we can keep it all highway road, and instead we'll have a 4-lane highway come out of here. Gonna connect it straight into the couplet here. And we'll add some faster merging lanes onto the high-speed road. And probably have a little bit of asymmetry here as well. And then we'll allow them to turn here where they can enter the town. And I think we might do a couple of these like contraflows off this couplet system, maybe the other side as well. So not everyone's bottlenecking through the same interchange. There's multiple of these little kind of non-omnidirectional ramps around the town that get you back onto the national highway network. And this couplet system will continue. I'm going to bring this one-way road directly behind the station. Might even upgrade a few segments of this into parking road. We'll mark those out in a second though. This is a great chance for some complex curve as well. Just ideal. Thank you so much. One of the best bits of CS2 road tools, that complex curve. So niche, you need it so infrequently, but when you do need it, it's great. I really do like it. And then this side of the couplet will flow down, probably on complex curve again, actually. And we can use that as a natural end to that car park. With these parking segments along the back of the station, let's mark them out. We'll do a stretch of 56. And another 56 without. Something to that extent is what I'm thinking with the back parking. Definitely more to be detailed in a time lapse, of course, but just, I really love these road planning episodes in CS2. You get just so much extra flexibility for road customization with these tools. It's a lot of fun, actually. Cool, so that's wonderful. I think this main line, we will probably take this to be industrial over here, I imagine. Maybe some supply chain work with a cargo train station on this side of this new town, which we do need name recommendations for, by the way. Let's keep it within the egg dish name, such as Sunnyside Lakes, Benedict, Florentine. So give me a name suggestion for this new town down below. And then we'll finish up our train line, which is going to go probably over here. What if the scope for a train bridge here? We don't need one on the lifts. This is very dramatic and probably not appropriate because it's passing over such a small waterway. It does look cool, but I don't know. Don't know if that's gonna... The train priest probably won't be happy with that. Yeah, I just don't think it's realistic. It always looks cool. I love the bridges, but it doesn't belong there. We'll just use a regular train bridge. And then connect this back into the national line over here. Super. That connects our train in, which means we can actually now bring the passenger line into the new station. So this is the central line that runs to Benedict and then the other outside connection. And then I wonder if it's worth calling this line that goes to Sunnyside to come and stop in the new town on its way. Or is it worth an entirely separate train line? How busy is Sunnyside Lakes station? There's only one platform here. I think I'll get the train to do that. I think that's happened to me before on a train, you know. I was once taking a train to Cambridge going to Ely station. And we pulled into Sheffield and then started reversing out of it again, and it really confused me. I was like, wait, we're going back to where we just came from? What's happening? So I think I'll do that to my Sims. So on your way, you will come and stop here at the station. And you'll carry on your route, won't you? And then you'll take this slip exit. Yeah, so there we go. We can get a better highlight of that line there, can't we? We'll name that next episode actually once we have a town name. Otherwise I'll just change it twice. Fantastic. Hello people. No one getting off here yet, of course. Let's configure our front with trams, which will eventually come down here, and then we'll also get them moving in this direction too. And we used this one last episode, didn't we? I wouldn't mind trying another one. I wouldn't maybe mind duplicating these actually. Can we do that, or will it collide? We can. What does that give us? 4 possible stops with a tiled surface. We definitely don't want the traffic light there. Okay. Let's also think about some cycling lanes here too. I'm going to want plenty of them. The tram will do something nice with. We'll bring it off on its own road, which can cut and weave through all the green belt and general road infrastructure that's going to be around here anyway. And then trams are already down this road. Yeah, they're already here, aren't they? Because there's a depot there. And we now just want you, that's a very short segment there. Should probably change that. All the way down here. Looks like I've missed out some sections of cycling there as well, haven't I? And then here we will leave the road. Just correct our approach here. And I guess they can turn around here now anyway. We will do some finer tram work elsewhere in the town once the road frame's down. But for right now, I will grab... where's the tram here? It loops around at the Shelton School, doesn't it? Well, no longer. You will now come all the way down and stop at this first station instead. I'll likely terminate that line there and then have other trams connecting with it that serve this major town. Because that's a really long tram line now. That run, should we follow it actually? So this is now the new start of it, right? The start of the station here. We're going to come all the way down this arterial road. Right through the heart of Shelton. There's one of them now. Back onto the arterial where it turns off here. Let's come down the flooded part of town, which I am going to try fix this. I've actually started removing housing, you can see over here. Might do this in a stream or fix it in an episode, I'm not sure, but it needs to be sorted. Anyway, trams are coming all the way down here, then into the one-way coupler system. Which then joins, of course, cycling we added a couple of episodes ago. And then comes all the way down. And then ends at the central station down here. Which is absolutely fantastic, because we should have a first-person tour to do of that one day. And then, of course, this changes with another tram. The black one's over there, going into downtown. So very nice indeed, very nice. We love a long tram line. But otherwise, I think we're in a good place for a road time lapse. I'm just going to expand some very basic grids. I'll just give a brief overview of what I'm going to do before we time lapse it up here. Oh, you very nearly joined on a perfect grid. Oh, I'll make you. Just following the usual grid tips we picked up, especially from episode 1 of this series. Aligning lots of grid structure off here to hold different builds down the line. I'd love to try get lots of factories and supply chain stuff around here as well if possible. And then I wouldn't mind bringing in some more interesting angles from this junction as well. Maybe we can create a bit of a 45-degree junction there. And then this can go off into the hills. We also have another road over here as well. How much is this tile? Probably going to grab that one as well. And then this can move uphill. Which we will want to prepare a little bit. Not sure where this is going. This is probably another outside connection road. Which is still quite far. I can't see the map edge. There it is. Which is so white up in the hills over here. But yeah, that'll probably go to outside connection at some point. So we'll also plan for these roads to kind of map that general direction as well. Yeah, but otherwise, let's detail up our road networks and decomplete it, add in more transit infrastructure, and also hook in our new train depot as well. We'll also detail that new plaza in the skyline and add some bike parking to the port as well. We'll grab some snacks and we'll be right back. Alright guys, let's have a little chat about what we've done with the road network here. So further toward the farms, I actually forgot we already had this bypass couplet system that of course heads back to the port. So I've carried that on through here. This couplet now runs under the arterial road, so you've got several different ways kind of back and to across the highway back to this kind of collection of networks as well. This then splits on a rail crossing to run either side of the train station, where we also have our new trams running. Did also need a new tram depot, which you can see over there. We'll have to upgrade some other ones as well, I think, at some point. But all this is very detailable, ready for us to come in and start placing our buildings next episode. Some nice big important cycling intersections here where the arterials meet. Lining up some frontage car parking for some commercial space before our tram rejoins the arterial road. The cycling pathway that runs back to Shelton alongside the highway. Elevates up into a little bridge, where even someone's walking down this pathway now. Not sure why. Where were you going? While you're over here. Should we have a look actually? Or you go into an outside connection, are you walking? It looks like it. The train, love. We've just put a train in for you. You can use that if you want. Maybe you can't afford it. Either way, our train, or our bike bridge, snakes up and over the highway to come down into more cycling infrastructure this side, where that tram also turns around to serve the whole town. I'm imagining lots of supply chain factories out here. Definitely going to keep this side of the town by the rail and tram depots significantly more industrial, I think. Through here, we can get an impression of our train passing between the couplet, which is very nice. It'll look so cool once we've got buildings all around this. Very excited. Some basic grid frames form up the hills. We'll take these as far as we need them. The tile boundary is pretty close, but we do have quite a lot of room to grab up here. So we may end up grabbing those tiles as we begin to zone. I'll really just kind of see how big the town gets, and we'll see how far up the hillside we head. Here you can see a very slight shifting grid. Little roundabout roads also connected back to this national road, which will one day plug into another outside connection coming down the hill, which will have a really nice approach into the city, where you can see Upper Benedict from here, even downtown Benedict. All of Shelton. A little bit of Florentine over there as well by the wind farm. And of course the power station as well. It's so nice to see this sort of scale beginning to develop in the vanilla build, isn't it? It's one thing I do enjoy most about CS2 is it's just the scale of buildings and roads and whatnot. Feels much more realistic, doesn't it? So this is all fun, connecting into the interchange down here. The couplet splits off and goes under the bridge down to the arterial, while the other one connects in with two one-way roads. Or that one there actually is supposed to be one-way. Two-way, sorry. There we go. This then comes over in a two-way road to connect back into those layers from the other couplet exit, alongside back into suburbia. Before this national road peels off onto the interchange that lane made for us, the map maker of course. Just plugging into it in a similar fashion. And there's a few people coming on and off here, but it's plenty more ways for people to get back into the town once they do arrive. And we've still got plenty of room around this couplet to develop extra kind of supplementary support ramps, if indeed we do need them. And don't forget to leave me your name suggestions for this new town down below, which we'll start working on next episode. Filled a really huge space in that southern valley today, haven't we? And, nice to see all those arterials continue to flow down. Fantastic. Back in downtown Benedict, we've also detailed our skyscraper plazas that we placed at the start of the episode. More benches, lunch, fountains, bins and planters, car parking as well. Around the foot of our big tower, which I really like. These are great space fillers, aren't they? This sort of detailing with the surfaces and the props is pretty impossible in vanilla CS1 around these sorts of towers. So now we have a skyscrapers pack-in. It's really fun to play, I think, with the bottom of them as much as it is actually placing them as part of the skyline, isn't it? Which I've really enjoyed today. We have some nice new fun. Indeed, inner city, downtown spaces to enjoy. Otherwise, I'll shut up and leave it there. Hope you have enjoyed it. Road planning episodes are always my favourite things to do, especially in CS2. With these road tools and all the layering and networks we can get, and bikes are here now as well, of course, so really fun playing with those. I hope you managed to pick up some inspiration as to how to prepare a new area with public transport and road connections before you start building. Really helps me plan my cities at least. An enormous shout out to the YouTube members and patrons that bankroll these videos, with a roll call to our golden patron eggs: Casino, Spartan Angel, Michael W, Bad Wolf, Phoenix ND, Blythe, gaming and great tea. If you want to get involved in that, links down below to Patreon and Instant Gaming. And you can also leave me a like for free, which does wonders for these videos. Enjoy the cinematics, and I'll shut up and leave it there. I'll see you in the next episode. And as always, enjoy the rest of your day.